right into the interview. So my first question is, who is Q Lachey McMillan?
I'm a passionate person. I'm a mom, a single mom. I'm an artist, an R&B artist. I'm a writer. I'm a lover. I'm just somebody who was dealt a bad hand in life and is trying to, inspire other people and let them see my life as I journey through it and get through the hard times that I have. My platform now is definitely to bring awareness to mental health and mental illnesses. It doesn't have a face. You know what I'm saying? We always feel like people who have mental illnesses look a certain way, but they don't. I have my own struggles, and I'm showing that to my fans and my supporters. So Q Lachey is a boss. Q Lachey is an amazing woman.
Awesome. And then I said working on being doing the greatness in the back end.
Yes.
And strive and persevere. And I know that you're from your native Pritchard, Alabama. We know that Pritchard is known for portraying the media as a lot of negative, violent crimes, things like that. Let the listening audience know, how was your experience growing up in Pritchard, Alabama?
It wasn't, as a kid, we didn't really know about all of that. I ended up moving and leaving there when I was like 8 or 9 years old. Really, my whole entire family on both sides grew up there, lived there. I had a granddaddy, R.C. McMillan, who had a barbecue shop in Pritchard, McMillan's Barbecue. So we used to go in there and pick out whatever we wanted. We would treat it like princesses and stuff like that because that was our granddaddy. We had fun growing up. We didn't look at Pritchard as like this horrible place, but there was a lot of crime. There was a lot going on, especially on my street, Middle Avenue, where I grew up at. So my mom was like, yeah, it's time to go. It's definitely time to move. But Pritchard it made me. I'll never take away from Pritchard or Mobile what it did for me and the person that it made me, and just the mindset that I have now. So
I know you said in your bio that you was in a single parent household. How was your experience growing up in a single parent household?
I didn't have the best childhood at all. And I've been very open about that, especially recently. I want to say in April, I opened up to my fans and supporters and those who tune in to me that I endured sexual abuse as a child by my father. So that was hard. Not even just the single parent part of not having him in my life, but just to endure that alone was very, very difficult. And it is the reason why I do want to pursue music. It's the reason why I did start to write, because writing was super therapeutic for me growing up, because because of the situation, couldn't really talk to many people. My mom did put me in counseling when I was little because of that, but it just wasn't, for a child, it's just a lot of emotions that you can't sort through and you don't understand. So writing was something that just really helped me get through. I would get a little journal and just write what I was feeling. I grew up watching my friends have their dads, and I didn't have my dad in my life, so that was kind of hard. That was definitely hard, but like I said, with the whole Pritchard thing, it made me who I am. And it's hard every day. I'm not going to say it's easy at all, but it definitely shaped me, and I wouldn't change my life and my upbringing for nothing.
How did your musical influence come about?
The first one that I can remember would be Brandy. That was my first CD. Brandy was my first CD. So I just remember listening to her. I think it was the Full Moon album, in my bunk bed. And I just remember listening to it Brandy was that girl back in the day, though. You know what I'm saying? She was on Moesha. Every young girl, I feel wanted to be like her. And so when I listened to her album, it made me want to be a singer. And then the next one was Michael Jackson. When I watched his live stuff, that made me want to be an entertainer. And then Kiki Wyatt was another one, which I opened up for her last year, which was really cool. I always knew I wanted to be, I kind of battled back and forth between wanting to be an entertainer or just a writer, writing books, writing stories, writing plays, writing movies. So writing is it's another big part of my passion, but that's how it came about. Brandy is always and forever going to be my favorite singer, and so many people sleep on her.
You said in your bio that you auditioned for NBC The Voice. How was that experience back in 2014?
The Voice was an incredible experience for me. I was super nervous and scared. I was how old was I? Like 21? I want to say I was 21. It was back in 2014. Then American Idol had been around for so long. We all grew up watching that. But The Voice, I felt like I liked the way that they, you know, did the show with the whole turning the chairs around, and they went off your voice, not how you looked on the outside. So I went to New Orleans for the first one, the, you know, initial audition. It was an all-day thing. Luckily, I didn't have my son at that time, so I had to worry about him being there all day. But we were there all day, and we went from room to room, just waiting around. We finally went to this huge room with like a conference room type situation. And they had producers, or just one producer, and we all stood up one by one and sung, and I was the only one in my room that stayed. He was like, you stay, everybody else go. And the man, he like pulled up my YouTube right in front of me, and he was like, all right, well, sing this and sing this and sing this and sing this. I was in there forever. I was like, oh my God, like, can you tell me if I made it on the show or not? Because I'm ready to go. I was hungry. I was like, I'm ready to go. But in my mind, I'm like, just hold together, because what if you make it? And he was like, yeah, you made it to the next round. So then they had you come back. I had to come back to New Orleans, I want to say like 3 days later. But I made it up there, but we made it late, and so I didn't get to the next round, which would have been flying out to LA and being on the actual show. So I beat myself up a lot about that, but every part of my journey really has made me who I am, and it's made me think the way that I think now. So I just look at it as it wasn't the time, and God has something else for me. So
how was that experience, and what advice did she give you to advance your music career?
107.3 The Beat now with Ariel Monet. I had did an interview previous to me open up for her, and I spoke it into existence. She asked me about, you know, me being inspired by Kiki Wyatt. And I spoke it into existence. I was like, I want to meet her, and then it just so happened to the next year, a couple of months later, really. I was able to open up for her. It was a good experience watching her live, somebody that I've looked up to, I've always admired, you know, from R&B divas to just the songs that we all know with her and Avant. And I wasn't able to really have a one-on-one. I did take pictures with her afterwards, so unfortunately there wasn't any advice that she gave me because she was kind of in and out. But just her vibe and her energy was really great. It was just good to be in the same room as somebody that you've looked up to. So I've always, you know, put that on my checklist as I got to meet. Next is Brandy. Now we're going to speak that into existence. I want Brandy to be the next person I meet. But Kiki Wyatt was amazing. So it was a good experience.
You say speak those things, people. So you speak those things, eventually they do come to pass.
Right.
I did also in your bio, you said you hate 9 to 5.
I should have said hate, because I mean, obviously I've worked a ton of them in my lifetime, and I know that a lot of other people do. I don't want to say I hate 9 to 5s, but I know that that's definitely not for me. I definitely agree with or believe in working until you're able to get where you want to go. But me clocking in and clocking out on somebody else, you know, I can't. That's just not for me. I've never seen that for myself. I you know, grew up and come from a family of entrepreneurs. So that's just kind of, it's in my bloodline. It's just kind of always been in the, you know, the cards for me. So I don't want to say, let's reword that right now. Let's just say I need to go and change that. I don't want to say I hate 9 to 5. So I don't want people to get offended by that. That's just not something that I want to do or see myself doing. I want to be able to just work for myself and create my own schedule, and just not put a cap on what I can make to be able to provide for me and my son. So let's just say I don't really, you know, want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Next question is, how do you want to leave your legacy?
I want people to really understand and know my story and what I was trying to get across with my music and opportunities like this, with interviews and stuff like that. As I grow and I mature, my platform and my message kind of is the same, but it evolves, it kind of changes. So like I said, right now I'm really focusing on mental health and mental illness. I want to kind of use my platform to shed light on that. Me being an African American woman, I know that in the African American community, we're not so educated on the topic of mental health, and we tend to think that it has a face. And that people who are mentally ill or suffer from mental illnesses look a certain way. And I want to show my fans and my supporters that I suffer from depression and anxiety really, really bad because of the childhood trauma and the things that I've endured in my life. But it doesn't have to stay that way. You don't have to continue to suffer alone. When I opened up about my father molesting me and a lot of other things that I went through. A lot of girls, I can't even tell you how many girls wrote me and said, Q, oh my God, I've been through this, I've been through that. I've never talked about it. I've never told anybody. We tend to want to shy away and shut down and don't talk about it, but that's how we self-destruct. You know, we tend to take out that hurt because we've been hurt. We take it out on other people. Just, you know, through our relationships, with our professional life, or when we have kids, we can't really be the best parents that we can be. The legacy that I do want to leave is that I want to be open and transparent about my struggles, and I want people to actually watch me grow and heal and mature through it, and that in turn will, you know, allow them to be inspired to do the same things with their life. Whatever they're going through, they'll see that I went through it and I was able to write about it, sing about it, and get healed from it, and they'll be able to do the same thing for themselves and the people around them.
That's good. I'm glad you brought that up, because I know people be an advocate for cancer, diabetes, but never be an advocate for mental illness. And like you said, it does go in our community.
Right.
And people struggle with that.
Yes.
Different things they experience in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be tough for male or female.
Right.
I'm glad that you really big on that and been an advocate on that and get that message across, that mental illness. It's very serious. So
it is. It definitely is. I deal with my depression silently behind closed doors, but I will be singing about love and other things, and that wasn't true to, you know. So this year, like I said, 2019 has been such a year of self-reflection, self-healing, self-love. I really can honestly say that I'm really starting to love who I am with everything else. You know, when I said that before, like in past years and past interviews and stuff like that, it was more so like I love the great things about me, but now I'm really truly starting to love Q for everything, depression and all, sad, lonely nights and all. Like, I love who I am, and I'm just glad that God is using me in that way, and I pray that that He continues to use me to do more and bring awareness to that, for sure. Amen. And we're in this social media era right now where it's just like everybody has an opinion on everything. I mean, just everything, you know, and we're so judgmental. We're so hurtful to each other. But I've come to realize we're hurtful like that because we're hurt. Everybody's walking around with something. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want people to see through me. Like, I don't trust a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I don't hang with a bunch of friends. You know what I'm saying? I have just really me and my son. I want people to understand, like, you can't, even if you can't talk to nobody, you have to release that in some type of way. So whatever avenue you feel is necessary, do that, but it has to be through a positive outlet, because we don't want to be out here mistreating our kids or not being able to raise our kids right, or if we're in relationships and we're married, you know, we're taking out our frustrations and our childhood traumas into our marriages and into our relationships and on our jobs, and you know what I'm saying? Like I said, that is a heavy, and I really did not realize how heavy it was until I laid that load down. Do you hear what I'm saying? I laid it down to start the conversation, and not only start the conversation, continue the conversation about mental health, and see that our brothers and sisters are getting the help that they need so that we can be, you know, where we should be as a people, because we're definitely not at that place right now. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have any final remarks, any words of advice to an up-and-coming artist, or someone who may went through that experience of being blessed the way you were at that age, and you experienced that may be going through that right now? What advice would you give to them?
You know, say, as far as the whole sexual abuse thing, I realize that there's so many people, like the same thing with mental health. There's so many people that you pass by every day, on your day-to-day, that have been through this. It doesn't have a face, and I want people to know, if you've been through that experience, that it wasn't your fault. I feel like that's the first thing that you have to know. You have to forgive yourself, and then forgive the person that violated you. You have to let that go, because like I said, it's a heavy load. You don't want to carry that throughout your life. People around you that are positive and that are going to pour positivity in life into you. I feel like that's another super important thing, because it doesn't make sense to really do all of this healing and you surround yourself with negative people who speak death upon you, or, you know what I'm saying, speak negativity to you, because then it's like you just in a hamster wheel. You're just going round and around, and you're growing, but then you're falling back into the trap. You're growing, then you're falling back. So yeah, forgive yourself, forgive people who have wronged you. Surround yourself with positive people, and people who want to get into music, have passion.